Garnacho show clear signs that he won't let up. Cause in the first game there was plenty of skill, but he had no end product. After Rashford put my team one up, and Garnacho dropped that shoulder, and the body slowly started to open up. I knew right from then that he won't F up. What? Garnacho show clear signs that he won't let up. Cause in the first game there was plenty of skill, but he had no end product. After Rashford put my team one up, and Garnacho dropped that shoulder, and the body slowly started to open up. I knew right from then that he won't F up. What? Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Firms, and I'm joined today by NK Edwin, somewhere around doing his thing. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's watched the game. I'm sure we're going to get him back on his show at some point, but right about now, he's doing his thing somewhere.
Is it second time he hasn't showed up?
Second time, well, that's a fine, isn't it? Slightly, isn't it?
That's a Casemiro fine, man. Three game back.
Trust me, if you don't make it for Barcelona, you're gonna have disciplinary, bruv. He's gonna have to be hiring that Manchester City's, like whoever Manchester City's hiring, the Edwin's gonna have to hire, bro. Swear down. But look, Manchester United, NK, we got the W, man. It was one of those games where it was looking like, I don't want to be going to Leeds back to back, either losing or just collecting 1 point away, 1 point at home. Look, we needed a W and we managed to get the W today. How you feeling, NK, man? What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah. You know, as I said to you, we won at the end of the day, man. It was a very nervy game and frustrating game to watch. You know, I remember watching it, and then I'm not gonna tell you, like, for the whole game, like, if you saw my face, it didn't look good. It didn't look good. Like, I was worried, man. I was worried because I felt like a win today, like, more or less cement our place in the top four. I know it's too early to say that, but I think with Newcastle kind of like slowing down, Tottenham being up and down, I think a win today was very crucial. Like, so I felt like a win today kind of like almost kind of like there, just like securing top four, man. So it was important. So doing the game when Leeds was kind of like literally doing the most, yeah, I was not happy at all, man. I was very nervous watching that game. Very nervous watching that game.
Do you know what? It's important as well because all the teams around us dropped points, right? And we needed to capitalize. Like, it felt like everyone was drawing it. You know, Arsenal drew with Brentford, Chelsea dropping points as well. They drew after there was 1-0 up from Felix. Like, everyone was dropping points. Newcastle, like as you said, dropped points unexpectedly, actually, against, was it Bournemouth they drew against? But I was just like,
yeah, Bournemouth, yeah.
I just feel like they're losing steam. Obviously, Arsenal has dropped points again. They lost they dropped like points in the last 3 games now. It's yeah, two games. One of them was FA Cup. Yeah. So it just feels like Manchester United, this game was in particular was a game that we could close ground, and we did that, man. So I was happy about it. But you know, you mentioned that you were nervous, and reasons for it, in my opinion, in terms of watching Man United against Leeds, is the fact that one, the midfield is obviously still an issue. Like, we can't keep a hold of that possession. The first leg, it was the same thing. Today, you know, it was the same thing. The ball, the midfield is not there, and I don't want to like criticize, you know, our midfield in terms of Fred or Sabitzer. Like we say with Fred, 1 minute he's poor, 1 minute he's good. You know, he gets booked, and all of a sudden now he regains a bit of composure. Look, he got man of the match today, and you know that just sums up Fred. You didn't know that. He got man of the match.
That sums up the whole game.
You know, and you know, you got Sabitzer dropping in a deeper role, right, and doing a sort of Casemiro number 6 role, right, trying to play spray balls out. I saw him dropping way deep, and I guess Erik ten Hag wanted to use him in that sort of position. And you know, he found his man. You know, he was part of a goal today. So I think the midfield is starting to gel, trying to understand each other, because we ain't had a midfield duo with Fred and Sabitzer outside of the Leeds game. And then obviously you've got guys like Maguire and Luke Shaw being paired together, and Maguire was giving me nerves. Misplaced passes. David De Gea again, misplaced passes, causing issues, man. And it was just a worrying time. It was worrying, man. That's what was raising my nerves personally. But what was you particularly worried about in this game, man? What made you like, oh, this is peak, we're gonna lose?
One thing that I'm worried about it, I just feel like Tim Hag is still yet to adjust to losing Eriksen. That's one thing I kind of like noticed. And today's game, the biggest worry is I just didn't know what our game plan was in terms of getting a goal. I felt like we were just hoping to get like a counter attack to score the goal for the whole game. And I think we were very lucky that Leeds were not clinical, because if they were clinical, I don't think we stay in that game to even get that counter attack. Because all game, you just feel like the players just wanted that moment. They always feel like they just need that one moment to kind of like get a goal. So they didn't feel like they needed to kind of like do enough. They were not battling. They were losing the 50-50 ball. They were not fighting. Like, it was very poor. Like, the body language, the intensity was very poor too. At times we tried to slow the game, and I mean, De Gea kind of like kept us in, I think twice or so, but even with him, his distribution wasn't good too. So I don't know. I just feel like today, I think as a team, we got away with one, and with the three teams that we got coming up with, like Leicester and Barcelona, it's not games where you just want to just sit back like that and just let them have those opportunities, because they would take a chance of that. All I'm gonna say is I got to praise them though, because even though Leeds were not taking their chances, I think we took our best one, which was that Rashford header, and it was out of nowhere. It was out of nowhere. It was a good cross from Shaw, and Rashford, that's second game in a row that he scored a header, man. So bravo to him for that.
Look, that was a nice header, man, from the left, and the first one on the right. Like, he's just doing well. You can clearly see he's training with his head and scoring with his head. And long may that continue. But you know what? It was one of those games where in the first game against Leeds, we saw Man United didn't take their chances, and today was the difference. Man United took their chances, Leeds didn't. Leeds, Somerville was running right. He had clear opportunities. Nunto was still doing his thing and was left unattended at times. It was running in, causing havoc as well. But Manchester United took our chances. But I was worried because when I saw Bruno break free and that one-on-one from that the mistake from Leeds, bro, I was there left scratching my head like, how did that not go in the net? Bruno, I thought, outside of maybe Rashford, he's going to be that guy that you want on the ball to be in this team right about now to put that in the net. And he didn't bulge that back of the net, and that worried me because in the first game,
I think he's struggling. I think Bruno is struggling with confidence. I mean, some of the conversation that I have online in terms of like the role that the manager is getting to play, if he's happy or not. I don't know. Just throughout the whole season, I just feel like that kind of like swagger that he used to have, he's kind of like losing it a little bit. And I don't know if it's because obviously the manager have come in and just want him to play a certain way. And maybe he's kind of like conflicted between how he naturally want to play his game and how the manager want to do that. And I think this season, I don't know what it is, but the confidence has been bad. Even last season too, when he wasn't even taking penalties, now he's back on taking penalties too. So I don't know, that chance he missed. Hopefully, the next time he kind of like take it too, because he's been guilty of one or two of that too. But it's big chances. A lot of players that misses it. The good news is that we won the game, so let's look back at it and just laugh about it. But I think one of the interesting things in the game was I don't know if I should praise it as a tactical brilliance from Ten Hag or whether he just gambled on it. But he put Bruno on the right and Weghorst as a number 10 and put Rashford as a striker. And ultimately, that kind of like paid off, because I think at times we just needed a bit of run in behind, and Rashford gave us that.
It's true. I think that was a tactical brilliance, because even with Weghorst, when you're playing him as the number 10, he was doing really well to hold up the ball today and really well to feed in players. If you're good on a number 10 with his height as well, with the flick-ons or potential like holding other people, putting people through, I think it was a stroke of genius. And what I like about Erik ten Hag is like he doesn't have a fixed, a fixed way of his decision making. Certain managers, you're like, you know what, at this minute they're gonna bring on this player. If that don't work, there's no plan B, there's no plan C. I think Erik ten Hag, he does things in a game that we've seen that, so for example, Shaw, centre back, he done that as a back four. No one's actually seen that it worked out. We're seeing Weghorst today as a number 10. We saw Sancho as a number 10 before. We're seeing Anthony playing on the left at times as well as through the middle. He's doing all of these things and you're thinking, raw, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka inverted He's doing all these things that keeps you guessing, keeps you on your toes. It will be a slight little difference that it does that keeps you on your toes. And it makes me feel like his mind, he's always thinking. You see him with his notepad, he's always thinking. And it makes me feel like this guy really deeps football. He really like tries to figure out solutions. He doesn't just have, I'm going to bring this guy off the bench, like Garnacho. If it doesn't work, I'm screwed. He's always trying to think of things. So I appreciate that from Erik, man.
Yeah, and talking about that, because I always say like he don't have his players yet. We don't have his players, so most of that he has to like twinkle with and just like move stuff around. And it seems to be like anytime he's just done it, he's having more success with it than bad kind of like feedback too. So I mean, yeah, because what do you call it? We play with that Eriksen and Casemiro now. It seems like we're taking points. I'm not sure if we've lost yet without Eriksen or Casemiro. I think we drew there at least one, but
we ain't lost since like November, bro. Like we ain't lost since then. We ain't lost the game since November.
We lost against Arsenal.
I think we've lost one game. I think Arsenal's the last game that we lost.
Yeah,
we ain't lost the game since then.
So I mean, all the twinkles and stuff. I mean, today, for example, when he was taking Malacia off, I remember just looking at him thinking, why are you taking Malacia off? I felt like he was the only guy that had the intensity on. So I would have thought when Martinez came on, Martinez will more or less go centre back and just take Shaw on. But he left Shaw on. Shaw ended up getting the assist too. He brought Garnacho on too. And Garnacho, I mean, today too, I mean, last week, I mean, on Wednesday, he was struggling to take the chances. This one, he took it perfectly, man. And that was good of him, man. It showed like his character, because after the tough time that he had, for him to take that chance, that was great of him. Great of him, man.
With Garnacho, yeah, I know he got a lot of stick because he was getting so many chances. He weren't putting it in the net, right? My thing about Garnacho, right, is he's a young chap. He's 18 years old. He's coming through like the setup. And for me, the impression that he leaves in the game, whether he's scoring or not, the impression that he leaves where you're like, raw, like this guy should have been putting in a goal, just makes me think, right, if I take a step back and I look at Garnacho, I'm just like, he's clearly not ready. The whole fan base can agree that Garnacho's not ready. But if you're looking at what he's doing in a game, you'll be like, even though you're not ready, you're showing the signs that you are trying and you're working hard and you're showing elements of you, like you're present, you're getting in good positions, you're taking on guys, you're doing everything that you should be doing for a guy that is maybe like trying to learn his trade. Like if you was to see Garnacho on loan, not Man United, step away, if you was to see him on loan in a lower league, bottom half team or the championship, you'll be looking at Garnacho going, yes, like I enjoy this. He's getting his minutes. He's learning. It will grow from this. It will learn from this. Unfortunately, he's having to do that at Manchester United because we ain't got the squad depth, but it's really big learning for him. Like if he was like Amad Diallo somewhere, you'll be like, wow, Garnacho, well done. Keep going. And I feel like that's how I want us to look at Garnacho in a way of like, instead of like grilling him, more like I want us to be like, you know what? This guy is doing his thing. Like, keep going. Look, he's got the mind. He's got the mind and the heart to go through all of that adversity, like you said, and come back with a bang, man. So look, Garnacho off the bench. Apparently, he's got more goals off the bench than any other team in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think he had more impact because the thing is, I remember telling you, like, look, for now, he's an impact player too. And not only that, our team seems to be this team where players that come from the bench here seems to have more impact, but when they start, they don't seem to have the same impact too. And I remember telling you that because I think most of the time, the game opener more during the ending stage. People are tired, so when they come on, they make an impact. Today, for example, Sancho was a perfect example. He came on against Leeds, had a very, very kind of like good cameo. Today he started and it was like, he looked like a whole different player, He didn't really have the same impact that he did last time too. So it begs to just look for the question. If I'm a player, I think I would want to be coming on as a sub, but that's where all the joy is, So it's just very funny. But as he said to you right now, as an impact player, he's doing well. Hopefully, as the time goes on, he will probably like develop and just actually like when he actually get more opportunities to start, he will actually take the chances, man. But that was a good account for himself. For himself.
This is the importance of the bench and the squad depth, you understand? And I feel like we're just gonna need guys coming back fit. Look, we've got Casemiro coming back now. His ban is finished. You know what I mean? We've got hopefully. I don't know what's happening.
Doesn't Casemiro have one more game?
This is his last one now. He's back.
No, he got one more.
Is it?
Yeah, I think he'll miss the Leicester game. He's gonna play the Europa League, but I think he's gonna miss
it because it's a 3-game ban. Leicester.
Yeah, it's a 3-game ban, so he's gonna miss the Leicester one too.
But he'll be in Barcelona. He'll be playing against Barcelona.
Yeah, he can play the Europa League. Yeah, he can play the Europa League. Just I think his next game that he's gonna be available for is gonna be the cup final.
We need him for that Barcelona, to be fair. But you know what? Leicester also has kind of got a little bit of momentum, a little bit of form.
It's more Tottenham, so yeah, man.
It's going to be tough, man. And you know what? We just got to look at it one game at a time, because I looked at Man United's fixtures and, you know, just over the next like month or two, Man United's got big hitters. You know, we've got the Liverpools, we've got the Tottenhams, we've got the Evertons, we've got the Chelseas, I know they're not in good form now, but on paper, it's just like,
So talking about the fixtures too, were you a bit surprised today when you saw Maguire and Shaw starting as centre backs and Verón Martinez got rested? Bear in mind, Martinez is going to miss the game against Barcelona, so he didn't have to rest him. So I was a bit shocked when Martinez didn't start Verón. Maybe precaution, just saving him and everything. But ultimately, again, Maguire came in, Shaw came in, Maguire. Maguire during the game, he had his moments and stuff like that, but he got away with it. And ultimately, he started a centre back that has not played together centre back before, and he got a clean sheet too. So as I said, Tim Hag gambling is paying off. He said he doesn't gamble, but trust me, he is gambling and it's paying off for him.
Big. You could see the difference though. You can see the difference in class when you got Shaw and Maguire, specifically Maguire, because Shaw had a really good game in my opinion, but you could see the difference in class when you've got Varane and Martinez back there, or even Shaw, versus having a Lindelof and Maguire, specifically Maguire. And my worry is just like, you know what? Is this going to come back to bite us at any point in the season, man? I'm just worried, man.
To be honest with you,
he's got to do it.
The game did change when Martinez came in, because once he came in, he started to play more passing forward. The passing from the back literally just changed to stop. It just tells you if we're gonna get cover, we need someone who's brave on the ball. Because even Shaw wasn't even brave on the ball. They used to kind of like keeping it simple at the back. Nobody want to be brave enough to play the forward. But he came in, and within like a few moments, boom, 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 he played a few passes forward. Obviously, that time too, Rashford was there, so Rashford could like distract Leeds players with his running in behind. So I think the changes, Tim Hag did well with the changes. I'm not even gonna lie. I think he did well in the changes too. I was just mad during the whole game that I didn't actually appreciate like the changes that he did. But now that we're just doing the video, kind of like looking back, I think he did do well, and the changes actually did change the game. Because up until then, I just didn't see where the goal was coming from. If I'm honest with you, I just didn't see where the goal was coming from.
And even after those changes, you got to look at the two guys that he brought in. Sabitzer and Weghorst had a big influence in that game. You see Sabitzer from deep whipped it up past to Shaw, who whipped in, he eventually crossed it in, and then Rashford got his header. And then you look at Weghorst, who slipped in that free ball to Garnacho. He took it in his stride, opened up his body and slotted it in the corner. So these two guys, even though Fred got the man of the match and all of these stuff, Erik ten Hag is still managing to get these guys playing and contributing to the team. They're both heavily important into this win, man.
And even with Fred today, I thought when the game started, he started off brightly and then went quiet for a bit. And when he got a second card, I'm not going to I felt like Tim Hag could have taken him up. When he got a second card, I think he became more a bit reserved. He wasn't going in for the 50-50 tackles because he was scared that maybe if he does down another tackle, he's going to get booked. So he was kind of like a bit kind of like went quiet, wasn't winning the tackles. And then all of a sudden, I think when we went 1-0 up, he stepped up again and just was involved, was just kind of like intercepting the ball and passing the ball forward too. So it wasn't his best game, but in the moment where we needed him, he was kind of like there for the team. And I think maybe it's fair for him to deserve like the man of the match award.
Do you know what as well? Delo seems like he's starting to get back into the groove slowly. I mean, it was a better performance than, against the first game against Leeds. He hit the crossbar, rattled that as well. And I'm just glad that we're not sitting there saying, "Oh, we should have started Aaron Wan-Bissaka today," because we managed to get the points. But I feel like Erik ten Hag obviously wants to try and get Dalot back to full fitness. I don't know if it's for Barcelona or just want to get him back as quickly as possible, because he knows when Dalot's fully fit and firing, he can contribute as well offensively. So, shout out to Dalot. But you know what? Rashford's got 8 in 9 Premier League games now. He's got 8 in 9 goals. 8 goals in 9 games. And I read somewhere that, Rashford has got more goals than Chelsea and Liverpool combined. So he's got 10 goals outside, I think, in 2023. And Liverpool and Chelsea's got 9 goals. So that was a funny stat to read, man. But you know what? Rashford's... Erik ten Hag said in his press conference that, he thinks he's one of the best in Europe. When he saw him, he said he knew he can get more out of him. He wanted to work with him. He really seems to like this guy. And you know what? This is an interesting comment that he made, an interesting topic, because the way how he loves Anthony and looks at Anthony is very different to the way Rashford is. Rashford is straight, head down, bomb down the wing, cut and shoot. Anthony's more, I'm going to hold up the plate, look for a runner, slip them in and pass. Now, if the praise that Erik ten Hag is giving Rashford, how do you see him going into how do you see his team looking like with Rashford eventually? What's the end goal for Rashford?
Yeah, there's been a lot of, as I say, Rashford is a hard-working boy. We've known him since he came into the team. One thing about him that he's going to work hard. He's always going to put in the extra shift. And I think off the pitch too, he always does what he needed to do, like a good professional that he is. So managers always seems to like that, players with like good work ethic. They always just seem to do that too. But in the last 3 or so games, I've noticed that when he's on the left, he doesn't really have the best of games. And then all of a sudden they will switch him into the middle, and then he'll just take his chance. He'll just take his chance. And I don't know. And when we play, me personally, I don't prefer him on the left. I really don't prefer him on the left. I like when he's on the, what do you call it, in the middle. So in the long run, the manager just need to decide whether he want him through the middle or if he want him through the left. But ultimately, too, depending on the opponent, he can use him wherever he choose to be too. I just feel like when he's in the middle, even though his all-round game as a striker is not just there yet. If you have if the team is very good at working the ball and working the ball into the box, I think he can be at the end of a lot of those chances and take a lot of those chances. So
he's building.
Yeah, he's building. So once the team is complete and we are actually creating chances, I think he'll be perfect in there. But as of now, it's very hard starting him as a striker because he doesn't have that. He can't play with his back to goal just yet. So it's very hard. It's just when he played there, it's just only one way in which you can create for him, and that's in behind. But hopefully, as time goes on, he actually kind of learn a few what do you call it, tricks in here and there, so that he can play the striking position good. But last 2 goals has come from a header, man, which is something that we don't know of him too. So
yes. I think at the minute, Rashford is like a 7.5 in terms of on the wing. You're number 7. He's like a 7.5. So it's he's not quite a winger. So he's like a I don't know what you call it, a 6.5. Then he's not quite a winger, number 7. But at the same time, he's not quite a 9. He's like a 8.5. He's not quite a 9 as well. I remember even under previous managers were having this discussion, and even with Martial as well, it's been the same for both of them. It's just 1 minute they'd have a long stint on the wing, and we're like, oh no, we need to play them up forward. Rashford would even say, I want to be striker. I'm getting upset. Then next minute he comes out in an interview saying, I don't know. After he's had a stint and it's not going too well, I don't know if I like to be a striker or rather be out on the wing. And it's just, you see him out on a. It's just a cycle. And I think what I'm understanding with these guys is they're made to go in and out. I think they're made to just do the whole interchanging thing, going with their instincts when they should be on the left, going with their instincts when they should be up front. And I think that's how we're going to get the best out of it. I think everything about Man United is telling me right about now that we need a front three that can interchange. But, I could be wrong, because even with records, when he dropped deeper, he saw more joy as a number 10. And maybe we're just not needing a traditional. I don't know, but we'll see. But look, is Man United in the title race? We are currently, we are currently
Look,
2
let me
points
just
behind
stop you
City.
there.
One game, no, 2 points behind City, 5 points behind Arsenal. City's got a game in hand, but they play each other. Arsenal's got 2, but they're playing each other next game. So someone's dropping points. We're 5 points behind them currently. Are we in a race?
With 2 games to look. As I said to you, I don't see us being a title race. I see us finishing comfortably in the top 4, probably like sitting nicely in third with us in the end not being in no race to kind of like for the top 4. I think we're just going to just sit there nicely until the end of the season around the 3rd place thing. But it doesn't like the title race. Look, let's leave it for Arsenal. It's just going to be, the funny thing is, it's going to be one of those ones where even come the end of the season, we might actually end up finishing 2nd, but we're just never going to be that close to kind of like feel like, okay, we can actually win it, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Like so the only season when we finish 2nd.
It's probably going to end up being what do you call it, one of those ones. Because to me, a title race is when you feel like you got a chance to actually win it. At this moment, we seem to be getting the win. It's not convincing, and you just know that it's just a matter of time before we have one of those kind of like low draws here and there. And the other teams, they've already done a lot of their good work beginning of the season. Only if we probably won our first 2 games, then maybe who knows, man, we could have been in this conversation, even though we haven't been our best throughout the season.
It's true, because just looking at the fixtures, I mean, after Barcelona, we got the Leicester, then Barcelona again, then we got Newcastle EFL Cup final, and then we've got West Ham FA Cup. But outside of that, I mean, just go to the Premier League, right? So we've got Liverpool, Southampton, Brighton, Newcastle, Everton with their new manager, Forest, Chelsea, Tottenham, Villa, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, and Fulham. So we've got some interesting fixtures there, man. So, and I can definitely see there being, the odd loss or the draws here and there, which just creates a further gap. And I think on paper, even though Arsenal did lose against Everton and and things along those lines, they've got a better run off games on paper and City compared to us. But how Erik ten Hag's been managing things and dealing with it has been really good. He's taking it 1 game at a time, and just having that tunnel vision is the only way we can go with these type of things, man. So it'll be interesting to see, man. It'll be interesting to see how things play out. But we've got some big games coming up, man. I must say that. Look, who's your man of the match? Or did you say it already? Was it Fred?
I'll stick to Fred, man. I'll stick to Fred because, to be honest with you, none of them really done anything special to me. So I'll stick to Fred.
If you're asking, so my man of the match will probably be. Who would my man of the match be? It will either have to be Luke Shaw, doing the whole centre back, then left back, creating a goal thing. It'll probably have to be him, or I might even give it to Weghorst. I might even give it to Weghorst. I feel like he's.
That'd be a good shot.
You know what I mean? I feel like he was present today. I feel like today he was present. I feel like today he worked really hard, and not only grinding, working hard, but he was supporting with the advanced forward play, and that's what we want from him. So I feel like he's slowly getting his groove. Hopefully, he's getting his groove back, and building off those performances where he's not really been about. So, I'll give it to Weghorst, man. I'll give it to Weghorst, number 10. But you know what I mean? He still needs to do more before I start saying, sign him and sign him up to a 2-year or whatever deal. So for now, man, Weghorst, you get my man of the match, followed by Shaw, close second. Fred, you got the people's vote. Look, we got a big game coming out, NK, man. Big game, Barcelona, man. I'm nervous, bro. I'm nervous, but the good thing is we've rested guys. So we're gonna take it seriously. It's not that we just want to get knocked out. So
honestly, I'm not nervous. I've written that game off, man. I've literally written that game off. So I'm not nervous at all. It's just one of those ones where I've accepted defeat. So I've just gone in there just enjoy. Hopefully they don't do a lot of things that piss me off, man. So there it is.
It's gonna be a good game for the neutral, though. It's gonna be a good game for the neutral. I tell you that, because
if we show up,
Europa
if we
League,
do show up, then it will be a good game. But I don't know. Somehow I don't have no faith, man. Let's just put it that way.
Do you know what's scary? Just to conclude with Barcelona, is that their defense is mad. You know, you're on mute. I
said they're playing now. Actually, they're playing now
because
I saw them playing earlier on, right before we started the show.
Oh, they're winning 1-0. Look, their defense here they ain't concede. They got one of the best defenses right now in Europe. Their defense is crazy. And that's what worries me more than anything as well, because we know Barcelona for attacking flair. But when you're telling me that Barcelona's coming with defense too, and they're also scoring goals, yeah, that worries me.
I think look, the thing about the defense is that when they play, they always push people around the halfway line anyway. My only problem is, and one of the reasons why I'm accepting defeat is that if Ten Hag want to set up and play like the counter-attacking way, then I think we're gonna do it. I don't think he can do that, because to me, my best lineup for that day, I'll probably put Rashford up top. I'll put Garnacho on the left, and probably maybe put Bruno on the right, literally. And then in the middle, I will have Fred, Sabista, and Casemiro in there. That will be how I will start, especially if you want to you will make it hard for them to break you down. And also when we get a ball too, we can in a way hit them on the counter. But I don't see Ten Hag doing that. I still see him probably starting Weghorst and probably maybe putting Sancho there. These guys are just not known for the counter-attacking game. So that's why I'm just a bit kind of like down. I just don't see how he will come up with a game plan, especially away from home, where I think they said they haven't even conceded from open play just yet all season. But the team goes speed. We can't hit them on the break. The question is where the managers are going to put this place, and it's also if the players are going to take that opportunity doing the counter too, you know. So it's just one of those games where we see, but Barcelona should not underestimate us. If they do, yeah, we're going to hit them on the break, because that's what we're known for. That's what we know for on the counter attack.
I'm looking forward to how Erik ten Hag tactically sets up. I'm looking forward to see when we've got guys like Casemiro back in the fold. How he manages that game of that magnitude, because we wanted him to be there for the Arsenal game, which is a big game. Now we're going to have him back for the Barcelona game, and hopefully if he does show up the midfielders a bit of Fred and Casemiro, I do feel like, you know what, even if we do lose that away at the Bernabeu, I'm hoping that it's not going to be by like more than a goal. I feel like if anything, it will be one goal. I might be speaking too soon, but I'm hoping that Man United can go there, at least get a draw.
I think for us to get through, we need to draw there.
Yeah.
If we lose there, because if we lose, then we have to take the game to them in the second leg. We're not really good taking the game to teams. I think our skill set is because we're not just there yet in these big games. Our skill set suits us when the other team have the ball and we just do that. But if you come in into the second leg with a defeat, you have to then go at them. And yeah, I'd rather we get, if we can get a draw in the first leg, I'll take it. If someone tell me like I'll take it around, man. But I don't know. My confidence is low for the game.
Look, Malacia, Martinez, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, keep it straight, ultra defensive.
Well, you're not starting Shaw?
Bro, I know Erik's gonna start Shaw, and I know he might even start DeLong as well. But in terms of what I'll probably keep it straight, ultra defense. Do that Fred, Casemiro, Sabitzer, Garnacho, Rashford, Bruno. Get what you can from that, and then go ham at home. That's what I'll do. But
yeah, because Garnacho is a counter-attacking player, man. He's a speed merchant right now, man. So this kind of games will suit him. When he get it, he's a bit like Rashford gets it. He just want to run, man.
But that's the thing, though. If he's better off the bench, then who are you bringing off the bench? Because both of them seem to Sancho and Garnacho seem to have better games.
It's okay, but if you start that with the counter and then you get a goal, then that's when you can break like your Weghorst and then your Sancho, so that they can kind of like keep the ball a little bit.
But are they effective though, starting though? Because that's the thing when you Garnacho effective.
No, but that's said to you. This is going to be a counter-attacking style of game.
Leeds was a counter-attacking style of game.
No. In the first game, the game that they were pressing about it with Leeds, for example,
back and forth. It was like that.
No, but then with Leeds, for example, he did get the chances. He just didn't score them.
That's true.
So it wasn't. He did get the chances. He actually got himself in position to score. He just didn't score the goal. So that's the difference. So those type of games, it's your team. It's just like when you get in front of the goal, is it going to be composed enough to do that? Right now in our team, it looked like Rashford is the only one who is composed enough to score. The rest of them, they just know. At all, man. Bruno ain't composed to score. I don't even remember the last time a lot of players be scoring, man. But right now, I think Rashford is the only one you can count on to score a goal.
It'll be interesting to see because I don't know what Erik ten Hag's gonna do, man. Is he gonna expose Garnacho to that pressure? You know, like it's a big. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I'm excited to see, man. I'm excited to see every game what happens, man. It's a good season, man. It's a good season thus far. But you know what, guys? Thanks for joining us once again. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. OT99 Banter Room. Remember, look me up YouTube, Twitter, Insta. Look at NK as well. Get me, look up NK on socials, man. Get me Football Mazza Talks as well. Look him up. And let's get into this, man. Share your views on what you thought of today's game, man. What you think of Garnacho, Rashford. What you think of Sabitzer, their course in his new position, man. Let us know your thoughts. Until next time, Barcelona at the Bernabeu. It's going to be peak smoke. It's going to get served.
Peace.